I don't really want to switch to OBS because I don't know that software and I don't want to learn it. NVIDIA's down 1%, Rigetti's down 3%. I don't understand what are the crazy numbers at Citadel. They're very kind of boring, steady Eddie returns. I don't know much about the SMR sector. But yeah, let's try to look at some new stocks. I don't think we're going to listen to Abivac's quest on AMAB. We could do that. I've talked about Sora pretty extensively. I mean, I think Sora's going to be a good litmus test for the GPU business going forward, the industry. If Sora stays a popular app, then it augurs very well. If it doesn't, I think it scares Meta from overbuilding too much in the space. The AMD news was a little bit surprising. I don't know. I mean, I made a lot of posts about how quote unquote timing the market's very randomly distributed, and there's no obvious and easy way to do that. You can try to guess market psychology, but it's very touch and go. Even the best people I know at it are barely above random. So, sticking to one's fundamental instincts is, I think, a better game plan. But if it works for you, God bless you. No, I don't think the AMD news is bearish for NVIDIA. I don't see OpenAI going too ham. No, I'm short all four of the publicly traded quantum computing. Don't know anything about Oklo. I have a Vienna physics student. Physics was always my worst subject. Okay, AMAB's cash has dropped a little bit. They used to have more. Looking at AMAB, this is Anaptys Bio. 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs. We're gonna watch OpenAI's Dev Day. It's supposed to be some big news, both from OpenAI and possibly, the rumor is, we're gonna hear from Google this week that they solved the Navier-Stokes problem, which would be very surprising. Seems very unlikely, but they teased something recently that potentially they made some progress, but a complete solution for Navier-Stokes would be, very, very impressive. And another feather in the cap of Demis Hassabis. All right, AMD and OpenAI announced strategic partnership to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD CPUs or GPUs. AMD Instinct MI450s is set to begin in the second half of next year. That's 1 gigawatt, second half of 26. It's about 12 months from now. It's just a little odd coming right after the NVIDIA agreement. Oh wow, AMD has issued OpenAI a warrant for 160 million shares of AMD stock? What? Why would AMD give their stock up to align interests? I'm a shareholder of AMD, I'm livid. Obviously the stock is up at the moment. Okay, so first tranche best with the technicals. That's when you draw the crayons, right? Micron's maybe the big winner. Tens of billions in revenue for AMD, while accelerating OpenAI's infrastructure build out. Okay, let's take a look at, use EM to take a look at the revenue expectations for AMD. So they're at 33 billion, so this is supposed to give them tens of billions of revenue. Big if true, big if true. You got the Greg Brockman quote, it's serious when Greg is quoted. I would have figured it was a 10% stake of OpenAI, like they did with NVIDIA. You want to buy my product from me, okay, but I have to give you stock in exchange. That's the only way I'm making the deal. You go to the bodega. Hey man, give me a coffee and a bagel. Okay, pal. And I want 10% of all your earnings from here on out. Basically, why would I do that? I'm gonna buy a lot of coffee, a lot of bagels. I mean, if you're gonna buy the chip, you should be buying the chip because it's valuable. You know what I think happened? Lisa probably went to Sam and said, what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take for you to use AMD at OpenAI? Sam's like, man, we really just don't want to use AMD. Lisa's like, I'll do anything. I literally do anything. What do you want to do? If I use AMD, you have to give me 10% of AMD. And that is the craziest thing in the world. Could you imagine if you tried that with Jensen? I mean, if one of you guys used Godel, I guess if JP Morgan came to me and said, we're going to put Godel, on every terminal at JP Morgan, but we want 10% of Godel, I'd say, get yourself a deal. But if I'm Bloomberg and they say that, Bloomberg says, look man, why are you bringing up equity? You like our product, use our product. You don't like our product, don't use our product. We're not gonna give you stock in our company, let alone 10%. 27 billion of stock. It doesn't make any sense. Here's $27 billion of stock. I could give that, I could just sell that in the stock market and get 27 billion in cash. If you're AMD, do an offering. So I'm going to give you $27 billion of cash, and then you're going to buy $27 billion of products from me, and you're going to get $27 billion of value out of those products, because other people are buying those products too, assuming they're getting value out of them. So you're basically getting GPUs for free. That must have been what she said. She said, listen, I'm going to give you these GPUs for free. But the thing is, she gets to book it as revenue. OpenAI is like, oh, I'll take the compute. You could be our backup compute. AMD gets to have the revenue growth. I almost think AMD should be down on this. You know, reporting the revenue, you're bribing for revenue, in essence, right? But for the stock, I wouldn't have done this deal. I don't think OpenAI is sus. I just think it's, we have a technical analysis tool in Godel. I actually built it. It's a vector search. It searches a 32-tuple over market history and returns the K nearest neighbors. Spruce Biosciences. Breakthrough designation. Oh. They have enzyme replacement? I'm surprised I didn't know much about these guys beforehand. And they're filing a BLA? Wow. Yeah, I'll let you back in sync 1 second. So we'll look at Spruce. I guess a lot of people didn't know Spruce, given it just jumped like crazy. 33 bucks this morning, up $25. Maybe we should look at Spruce first, because it's kind of moving really rapidly here. I doubt it's along up here. That's a really near-term BLA. They could be approved and selling next year, this time next year. Who is this? Javier Schwarzberg, don't know him. But breakthrough designation just before a BLA filing. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Always an AMD, very, very weird deal. To me, somewhat bearish instead of bullish. Take the other side. Reverse merger, reverse split. It's a 30 million market cap, is that what you're saying?
News alert.
Top news alert. Call who needs U.S. economic data when you have Wall Street, McGeever.
Yeah, I mean, Oklo isn't that tied to OpenAI. But yeah, I guess they're hoping the same thing will happen where Sam will do, I guess pre-purchase Oklo reactors or something. I'm not sure about Cure. I mean, I think it'll keep going up, but it's not like, shouldn't be the only stock in somebody's portfolio. It's a okay long. Yeah, BVAX kind of data was sort of expected, I'd say. Well, if you're 100% in Cure because of me, you're doubling your money. Congratulations. I would take your profits. Yeah, I wonder if AMD comes back down though. I'm not sure this is the news that everyone should be that excited about. The 10% warrant coverage is somewhat egregious, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, quantum's going to go all the way down to zero. It's just a question of when. It's kind of like beyond meat, 3D printing stocks, all that stuff. Yeah, Santiago, I was back in the trenches. Yeah, Beyond Meat was a huge company. Yeah, the IonQ guy said he's going to be bare minimum Cisco, but more likely NVIDIA. A lot of things to work on, including figuring out this QUBT financing, which is such a bad and weird thing. Microsoft is kind of like Bell Labs. I mean, they want to do quantum for the science of it. I don't think it's because they think it's a big business. I think they think it's just something cool to work on, and I think that's true. That's why I have an interest in quantum. It's a really cool science, but I don't think they see it as big business. They do lots of stuff like that. You just look up research, Microsoft Research. 3D printing stocks all went down like 90%. It was a hot thing for a minute. Hard to say what's going to happen to Novo. There's some demand issues. Lilly seems to be beating them there, but I think the whole space is going to have, or has demand issues. The quantum trade is ending. Can't sustain itself. Kind of reminds me of CMGI. No, it's a mix of things. It's retail, it's indexes. It's not all, it's not all retail. There's foreign retail, there's US retail, there's indexes, then there's quants. Those are kind of the four parts of quantum to understand. Yeah, AMD is, NVIDIA price is nearly flat on this AMD news. I wonder if AMD is going to be, it's not going to be down today, but I wonder if AMD drops to below 200, possibly. I don't know what's happening with the TikTok deal. Yeah, we should work on the next ATYR. We don't have to be locked in on quantum. Jim Burley is a blockbuster, good for GSK. 8% royalties to That's not bad. So 8% royalties is 80 million. That's really good. And Aptus could be cheap. I like that. Yeah, Quantum has been very challenging to stay solvent, but with ATYR, we doubled our money with that. So nice thing about Biotech is it's always an easy profit center for me. Although Biotech goes haywire all the time too. Capper and Anavex coming up soon. Capper is all cap. Let's just say it's all cap. Yeah, the market's in a bit of a crazy manic period. Tends to not last forever, but it certainly can. So Capper is a short. Because let's just say it's all cap. Yeah, it's probably true, Chris. From what I'm told, it's all cap. Yeah, I think the thing is once everyone's been squeezed, is it Arthur? I'm gonna get your name right. Once everyone's been squeezed, Arthur's mentioning, some very smart comments there. If everybody's been squeezed, there's no appetite to short it on the way down again because everyone's been burned. Now, there's always new customers on Wall Street that replace the old ones. And there's guys that are up a lot, so they can go ahead and jump into a trade. So there's always some appetite, but the hope is that if you've been burned and you say, all right, I've lost 10% of my portfolio in quantum shorting and I'm burned, I don't want to do it again. It's just funny because, it will correct. And a lot of those traders, lose money both longs and shorts. They sort of lose money. It's the irony of these really big movers I think one of my longtime partners used to say whipsaw. They kind of whipsaw you. Yeah, I was short Veer back then, way back when. The short does become too juicy. Now, again, CMGI and Internet Capital Group in 99 and 2000, Internet Capital Group and CMGI were basically like public venture capital funds. They called them incubators. They were YC before YC. They were a publicly traded Y Combinator. And the problem with them is that they didn't have any hits. Y Combinator had dozens of big wins. The people behind those companies did not. And so those companies went to zero. But imagine if you had a 3% stake in OpenAI, a 1% stake in Anthropic, a 2% stake in Scale, a 1% stake in Perplexity, all the AI companies as a publicly traded company. How crazy would that stock be? It would be, the wildest stock ever, right? That's kind of what CMGI and Internet Capital Group were back then. And they got to 50 billion caps. It's hard to say, Michael. Jesus, I hope not. But yeah, it's possible. I don't know much about nuclear. So, when I short a stock, I really do want to know, is the company going to be here in 10 years? It's not really relevant when you're trading. But I just like knowing that. And in the case of nuclear, I haven't done the work. But in the case of quantum, I know a lot of the top people in quantum. And, I know the technology, at least I think. And, it just doesn't add up. But Oclo's running wild on the OpenAI situation, which is a little odd. So AMAB seems very, I'll put it up here in my long list. I think the big players are short QC. I think they just have to be very careful to not be burned. I've stayed in shorts for a while. Quantum is one of the longest. Oh yeah, everybody on Wall Street's talking about it. It's just the perennial battle of risk management versus, conviction. You have high conviction, great. I'm still not going to let this fund drop below 5%. And the trader's sitting there saying, but this is crazy, right? But the risk manager and the boss is saying, crazy is when all of our investors pull out. We're not doing that, not for any stock. Yeah, so QUBT is raising money from institutional investors who are flipping the stock. So in essence, they're making trades that they're doing secondaries that are, if a stock's at 25 and someone says, do you want to buy it at 22? A lot of people say yes, no matter what it is. There's AMD dropping closer to 200. Retail does have a bit of an advantage there, yeah. I'd say QUBT is probably the worst quantum name because they really don't have anything. There's no technology there, it's just a professor. They literally have no assets, no business, right? It's just a toy ticker. I mean, it's like a meme coin. Yeah, I don't know if you could do it fast enough, Anthony. But yeah, if you had a quantum computing company right now, you're sitting pretty. That's kind of exactly where you want to be.
AMD, I think it breaks 200. NVIDIA, I'd like to see NVIDIA green.
Just so AMAB looks pretty good. I mean, just the assets, just jump early alone is worth something. I guess the issue with AMAB has always been that they're basically just money wasters. They just take all the money they get from licensing their technology and just dump it in terrible biotech deals that never work.
Only price matters. Price go up. Therefore, I am right. Prices go up forever.
I still like SAREPTA. AbbVie's around 90. I think SAREPTA, I don't know, we should be able to get 50 pretty easily. Probably higher than that. It's been a rough one. You know, the FDA was going to take their drug off the market. There was a survey recently. The doctors have been saying that they're not going to stop prescribing, even though a few patients died on the drug, probably because of the drug. But these are very sick patients to begin with. Yeah, I like to trade Chinese stocks, but just the Hong Kong, obviously, not the A shares.
I can look at ATMA too.
AMD's traded unbelievable amount, 160 million shares. Really can't believe they're giving OpenAI 10% of the company. A lot of bubbleness going on. Archer Aviation up 10%, Joby up 4%, Oklo up 6%, but it seems to be cooling off a little bit. IonQ up 4%. We're in bubblicious territory here. Rich Tech Robotics. This is stock ticker RR. This I guess I want you guys to see this thing. I'm not short it yet, but this came on my radar. Look at these guys. Apparently this is all fake. I don't know for sure. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. They have very, 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 very little revenue. Yeah, TikTok is excited, but this is I'm hearing it's a scam. I mean, this is just a forklift that moves, right? I mean, it's sort of it's a cart. It's a moving cart. It's like a golf cart. Monopar is a weird company. They have more or less one drug, which I know very well because I almost bought it, but I realized it was garbage. It ended up getting acquired by Lexion for some crazy reason. I'm mega short quantum, and it's not going so good. There's no real race for quantum computing. I mean, what are you racing to do shores? You want Satoshi's keys, bro? You don't have to win every race. This is the first annual Shkreli Marathon. There is a Russian and a Chinese fellow. America must win right now. Am I convinced it's a bubble? Of course. AI, different story. AI is mixed. AI has value. Don't know Biofrontera that well. I met the CEO years ago. Being able to factor a large number does not grant you hegemony. Sorry.
Bro, if I get to factor this really big number to two other big numbers, dude, that's sick. Yeah, I'm gonna be factoring all day, bro.
I think AI is already doing, tens or billions, maybe even 100 billion in revenue. Monetizing AI is not hard.
So imagine, totally imagine 35 being factored into 5 and 7, but except like a really big number, bro. Really big. I'm telling you, man. No, we can't factor 35 right now, but one day, bro, one day.
Yeah, I'm using the webcam mic.
Well, what you are saying is not convincing when IonQ is $77.
Well, Enron was $77 too. IonQ is very similar to Enron. You know Enron?
Enron.
You would have been long Enron too. You long any stock that's going up, because you think that's a good. It's a good sign.
Stock goes up, it must be great company.
I'm actually not safe right now. If somebody's taking my nunchucks, that's kind of dangerous. Well, I have a fidget spinner, a Godel fidget spinner, and I could probably use this as a weapon if I had to. Chucks are probably somewhere around the office. We got weights in the office, and they get the weight swapped. Look at how huge this weight is, bro. Massive, tons of plates. Now this is adjustable. You can adjust to add as many plates as you want. Look how big it is. You can see it's full of these lead plates right here. I think we are getting a bench press in here. Whenever the revenue's light for our company, we sell lead out the back. That's the game plan. That's the master plan. A PQC takes 2 seconds to install. That's what makes quantum computing worthless. Hit install PQC. You're done. Never said nothing about illegal. I don't make any money streaming. And Connie's been calling nonstop. You guys get to see me in extreme pain all week. Although I am going to the dentist tomorrow, which is arguably less stressful than this. I will say something cool. Looks like 300-ish people have connected their Godel brokerage, or their account to Godel, their brokerage account. So that's pretty cool. 43 million total. There's the chart. Make sure you connect. If you connect, you won't be affected by the next price increase, which is coming very soon. So use BROK, keyword BROK, or command BROK to connect. I'm going to be mowing your guys' lawns pretty soon. I need a stress ball. We have this crappy one, but it's not like very comfy. It's like a Godel branded stress ball, but it's a $sign. It doesn't really do anything. It's kind of, we order all this swag, but the swag was from like the lowest quality place. So let's see what Monopar is going to actually file for FDA approval. I think that would be what they have to do. New drug application in early 2026. It's tetrathiomolybdate, right? Pretty sure. Wilson's filing NDA early 2026. Okay. So they're trying to do radiotherapy, radiopharmaceuticals too, which has kind of been a bit of a hot space. I don't know why they did this reverse split to have $100 stock price. I don't know what benefit they get out of that, but it's more squeezable, I guess. I don't know. All the apes are gone. Okay, so let's say these guys got FDA approval. Are there PRVs right now, or are PRVs done? They have to reauthorize it, right? Okay, so September 30 next year? Does Wilson's get a PRV? Yeah. Okay, but like, who needs this drug? Everybody's really well treated with the current standard of care. You guys still there? Yeah, I agree. Maybe 10% of patients? I mean, that's not tiny. Let's see. 20, 25, and it's just 7 and out. So let's see, so they get approval, maybe they get 25 people, 50, 100, something like this. I think they could push that price a little bit. Yeah, it's basically not worth even putting this drug out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Monopar's still a short to me. Yeah, Humacytes just gives you another chance to short it, I guess. I gotta ask some of my coworkers. AI agent security and zero auth. Oh, it looks like Lisa and Brockman did a little interview. I gotta see this.
Now we're embarking on, a massive build out of 6 gigawatts of AI compute, and it's a big deal for us.